So you did it. You actually built your new PC. And that is awesome. Congratulations. But the job isn't quite done yet. Now comes the fun part, turning that collection of high-end parts into a seriously fast, finely tuned gaming machine.
Let's just dive right in, shall we? There's almost always this huge gap between the performance you paid for and what your PC's actually giving you right out of the box. You can think of all your components like these world-class athletes just waiting at the starting line. We just need to fire the starting pistol.
So in this explainer, we're going to follow a really simple roadmap. First, we'll tackle the operating system, then we'll dive deep into the PC's command center, the BIOS, and then we'll finish up with some final tweaks that are going to make your games absolutely fly. Okay, first things first, Windows. I know, it's not the most exciting part, but how you install your operating system can make a real difference in how snappy and responsive your whole system feels. Let's make sure we get this foundational layer just perfect. The whole process is actually pretty straightforward. You create the install drive, you boot up your new baby, and then you just have to make a couple of key choices. And that second step, well, that's where our very first optimization comes into play. This is absolutely crucial. You have to install Windows on your fastest drive. So if you have, say, a Gen 5 SSD and a Gen 4 SSD, you put the OS on the Gen 5. This one choice is what makes your PC boot up in seconds and makes everything just feel instant. And hey, here's a little pro tip for you. If you'd rather have a local account instead of being forced into a Microsoft one, there's a trick. When Windows asks you to connect to the internet, just hit Shift and F10. A little black box, the command prompt, will pop up. Type in that command you see on the screen, hit Enter, and the PC will restart, letting you finish the setup completely offline. It's a great little hack. All right, Windows is installed. Now it's time to enter the PC's real command center, the BIOS. This is where some of the biggest, easiest performance gains are just hiding. They're sitting there waiting for you to flip a switch. Now get this, because this is kind of crazy. Your brand new super fast RAM, it's probably running at a snail's pace by default. For real. Manufacturers set this really slow, safe speed just to make sure it works on every motherboard. Enabling XMP or DOCP on some AMD boards is literally like telling your RAM, hey, it's okay. You can finally run at the crazy speed you were designed for.
And why does this matter so much? Well, because faster memory feeds your CPU data more quickly. And what does that mean? Higher, more stable frame rates in your games. It is, without a doubt, the single most important setting you need to enable after building a PC.
Next on our list is resize bar. The best way to think about this is that you're widening the highway between your processor and your graphics card. Instead of sending these tiny little packets of data back and forth, the CPU gets to access the GPU's entire memory all at once. For a lot of modern games, this is just a free performance boost.
Okay, and here's a super critical tip. You might go looking for that resize bar option and find it's grayed out, or maybe you can't find it at all. Don't worry. You almost always have to enable a setting called above 4G decoding first. Once you flick that on, the option for resize bar should magically appear. Don't miss that step.
Okay, our core BIOS settings are locked and loaded. Let's boot back into Windows for the real finishing touches. This is where we'll install all the right software and tweak a few more settings to get max stability and, of course, speed. Your first stop should always be drivers. Of course, get the latest graphics driver from NVIDIA or AMD. But then, and this is super important, go to your motherboard manufacturer's website. You need to grab the latest chipset driver. That's what helps all your components talk to each other correctly. While you're there, grab the latest Wi-Fi, LAN, and audio drivers too. Please, I am begging you, do not skip this step. By default, Windows will often set your fancy new 144Hz or 240Hz gaming monitor to just 60Hz. 60! You have to manually go into your display settings and crank that thing up to its maximum refresh rate. If you don't, you're literally just throwing away all those extra frames you worked so hard to get. All right, let's talk power plans. It's pretty simple. For almost every Intel and standard AMD CPU, you want to select high performance. This just makes sure the chip can boost to its highest possible speed. But there's one big exception, AMD's X3D chips. For those, you have to use the balanced plan. It sounds weird, I know, but that plan is what lets them manage their special 3D V-cache properly. Using high performance can actually hurt your gaming performance on those CPUs.
Okay, here's a quick fire round of essential tweaks for you. Game mode in Windows, always leave it on. If you have an NVIDIA card, go into the control panel and set power management to max performance. And for all you competitive gamers out there, absolutely 100% disable enhanced pointer precision in your mouse settings. It creates inconsistent mouse movement and will totally mess with your muscle memory. Finally, let's get your new PC equipped with a few essential and completely free apps. This is going to be your go-to toolkit to monitor your PC's health, track its performance, and just generally keep it running clean and mean. HW Info is just non-negotiable. You have to have it. It's a tiny, lightweight tool that gives you a super detailed look at all of your system sensors. You can watch your CPU and GPU temps while you're gaming to make sure your cooler's actually doing its job and you're not losing performance to overheating. Ever wonder what your frame rate, temperatures, and usage are while you're actually in a game? MSI Afterburner is the gold standard for that. You set up its on-screen display, and you'll know exactly how your PC is performing right in the heat of battle. You know, over time, your PC can get clogged with junk files. Revo Uninstaller is amazing for removing programs completely. It scans for and deletes all the leftover stuff. And for graphics drivers, you'll want to use DDU, which stands for Display Driver Uninstaller. It gives you a perfectly clean slate for a new driver install. And hey, performance isn't everything, right? Your PC should look cool too. Translucent TB can give you this really clean, transparent taskbar, and Lively Wallpaper is a fantastic free tool for setting up some awesome animated backgrounds. And just like that, you've done it. You have taken a box full of computer parts and you've transformed it into a truly optimized, finely tuned gaming machine. It's not just powerful on paper anymore. It's powerful in practice, running exactly the way it was always meant to. And if you're wondering if all that was really worth it, just think about this. In a lot of games, just enabling those two BIOS settings, XMP and Resize Bar, can boost your performance by over 15%. That is a massive gain for just a few simple clicks. So there you have it. Your machine is built, it's tuned, and it is ready for absolutely anything you can throw at it. The only real question left is, what game are you gonna conquer first?